We cannot go back to that kind of chaos.
Dr. Neil Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Home Secretary, please. We have a tinderbox situation in Epping. We have the Bell Hotel with alleged sexual and physical assaults, and now twice weekly major protests, some of which became violent with injuries to police officers. Appallingly, last week the government successfully appealed against the injunction on the hotel, prioritising the rights of illegal migrants over the rights and indeed safety of the people of Epping. Our community, Mr. Speaker, is in distress. The situation is untenable. This week the schools are back. The hotel is in the wrong place, right near a school, and many concerned parents have contacted me. When will the Home Secretary and the government listen to us, address this issue, and do the right and safe thing and close the Bell Hotel immediately?
So, Mr. Speaker, I agree that all asylum hotels need to be closed as swiftly as possible, including the Bell Hotel. It needs to be done in an orderly and sustainable manner so that they are closed for good. And he is not right in the characterisation of the government's case, because what we are clear about is that all asylum hotels need to close. We need to make sure that it is done in an ordered way that doesn't simply make the problem worse in other neighbouring areas or simply cause the kind of disordered chaos that led to the opening of so many hotels in the first place. We also need to strengthen the security and the cooperation with policing, and we want to strengthen the law on asylum seekers who commit offences that can be banned from the system, and that will be part of our border security bill as well.
Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every time the Home Secretary announces a new policy on illegal migration actually goes up. So I think a period of silence would be most welcome from the Home Secretary. But does she agree with me that the only way to stop the pull factor is to detain, deport and never allow these illegal migrants to claim asylum in this country?
Well, the pilot scheme we have agreed with France involves being able to detain people on arrival in Dover for the first time, something that's not happened before, and then to be able to return them to France, to the place where the boats set off from. This is something that previous government, including the government that he supported and was part of, were unable to agree and unable to achieve. And we have increased returns of failed asylum seekers by nearly 30% just since the election alone, because we believe that the rules need to be enforced and also that returns need to be increased as well. The problem with his party's approach is, frankly, he sounds a lot like the last Tory government's promises, grand promises that totally failed. They're just rehashing the same chaotic promises without ever being able to provide the detail of how they would make any of their policies work. The British way is to roll up our sleeves and to do things in a practical way, to increase returns and to sort the problems out.
Sir Desmond Swearing.
The only effective measure of the government's actions are the number of crossings, aren't they?
Well, I would say there's a big problem with the small boats, where we've seen the criminal gangs change their tactics, particularly to exploit the French rules, which mean that up until now France has not been intervening in French waters, but also not just that, but also people who are claiming as a result of coming to the end of their visa, having come to the UK lawfully, and then claim asylum when nothing else has changed in their country. And we need to make sure that there are tighter rules around that, as well as action around the border security to prevent dangerous boat crossings that undermine security and also put lives at risk.
Lincoln John.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In my Spelthorne constituency in Stanwell, we have the Stanwell Hotel, which is being used to house asylum seekers. I wrote to Home Office ministers on the 24th of July, again on the 25th of July, and again on the 29th of July, and I have had 0 responses to any of those letters. So please, will the Home Secretary show some respect to my constituents and the people of Spelthorne and reply to their questions and concerns?
Well, I will ensure that the honourable member gets a written response to his questions, but let me also make clear that all asylum hotels, including the hotel in his constituency, need to close. They need to do so in an orderly manner, and they need to do so in a way that doesn't make the problem worse elsewhere or create more chaos, as we have seen in the past. That is the best way for us to reduce the size of the asylum system, to clear all of the backlogs, and to make sure that we have an effective system in place.
Alistair Trapper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The ECHR is an important bedrock, not just for protecting vulnerable people's rights here in the UK, but also our strong international relationships abroad, which have been crucial not just to securing that returns deal with France, but also cooperation with Germany and other European partners to finally clamp down on the dire scourge of people smuggling gangs that we inherited. So leaving it fully cannot be a solution to the problems. It doesn't, though, mean that every aspect of it is currently working in the right way, and it's clear it's currently standing in the way of some of the actions we need to take if we're going to take this issue seriously. So can I welcome the clarification of how we're looking to take forward interpretation of Article 8 from the Home Secretary today, and can I seek confirmation from her that we won't shy away from further clarifications like the one announced today, where the EHRC is currently getting in the way of the action we know we need to take to provide the border security our country is crying out for.
Well, my honourable friend is right to talk about the international law and ECHR being parts of the reasons that we've been able to get international agreements, because other countries know that we will abide by international law. That is how we have got the French pilot in place in the first place, something that the previous government was repeatedly unable to do. But the way in which it is interpreted is significant and does need to keep up to date. We have the challenge around Article 8 and family cases, that far too many cases are being treated as exceptions to the rules rather than according to the rules that Parliament has set. We think the rules need to change in order to be able to address that, and we need to work through different changes to the way in which Article 8 in particular is interpreted as part of our immigration and asylum system, and we will set out more details on that as part of our asylum reform package that we will set out later this year.
Sir Julian Lewis.
Past waves of refugees who came to this country quite rightly had to identify themselves and come here legally. What percentage does the Home Secretary think of people who arrive illegally by small boats do so having torn up their identification documents, and should such people ever be granted asylum?
Home Secretary.
Well, the honourable member will know that obviously there are different identity checks as part of the asylum system, that those are tested as well through the courts, and one of the things that is one of the reasons why cases, asylum claims can be turned down, is if there is a lack of credibility in the application that is put in, and that can be a lack of credibility because of concerns about deliberately lost documents, for example, or not having proper identity information. It's important that we do that. It's why we're also increasing the digital ID and biometric checks as part of the ways to prevent illegal working, and linking that back to the biometric asylum system as well.
Alex Baker.
Madam Deputy Speaker. Illegal working not only undermines the integrity of our immigration system, it also erodes trust in our communities. In Aldershot, constituents have raised concerns about people continuing to work illegally even after reports have been made to the Home Office. That risks leaving local people feeling that the system is neither fair nor properly enforced. I welcome that the Home Office illegal working rates are up 50%, but can the Minister update the House on what action the Government is taking to strengthen enforcement, and how the Home Office is ensuring that reports made are acted on swiftly so that trust in our communities can be maintained?
Home Secretary.
Well, our friend makes an important point, and we have increased illegal working arrests and raids by 50%. We've significantly increased the fines for employers who are engaged in illegal working. But the further thing we are doing is, as part of the organised immigration crime domestic task force, bringing together policing here in the UK, that one of the things it is looking at is the way that organised immigration crime networks are also linked into organised crime here in the UK and also the exploitation of illegal workers. So going after some of those employers, some of those who are operating bogus tactics alongside the existing raids.